Welcome to our third webinar. Let me just get this out of the way and let's get started. Our third webinar, we are going to deal with Facebook advertising. So we talked about the social media landscape and we gave it some thought regarding how you can advertise in the example of Quora. I did give an example that you don't always have to advertise in the main channels that you have here, Facebook, Google, Twitter, and Facebook does include Instagram and Google does include YouTube. uh, you have an array of different channels here that you can use in order to publish your content and have an influence. For example, a different example that I'm going to use today could be maybe a restaurant advertising on Tinder. Uh, Maybe a restaurant says that um, is getting a lot of couples on the first date that come from Tinder. Here's a simple anatomy of an ad on Facebook. You have always here your brand that you choose when you're going to create your Facebook business account. Your ad copy that you chose on the ad session when you're creating. We will see more about this. The ad creative, which is the image that you can A/B test, which we are also going to see more about this. The headline is also created in the ad section, and the call to action also created in the ad section. This can change depending on your objective. You might say, for in the case of a restaurant, book now, an option to book a table on your restaurant. You do have a budget. You have to create a budget that fits with your objective. And these budgets, they work in auction style in terms of handing out your message. It's an auction, so who pays more gets more reach. Say your competitor is paying 220 and you're only paying 150, so his ad is going to show in front of yours, given that his ad has the same quality as yours. Quality is regarding the experience that your target audience and how aligned that message is with your target audience. Basically, the way it works is that the social media platforms, they are trying to get the best experience possible to the people that are using them. So if an ad is not aligned with with the audience that is being shown to, then that creates a bad experience for the customer. Given that it creates a bad experience for the customer, you are also penalized for creating an ad to show to those people, because you are creating an overall bad business, a bad experience when people are using their platform, say Facebook or YouTube. Getting into ad options and visuals, this is the ad options that you have on Facebook in particular. Not talking about Instagram now, just Facebook. You do have options. These are in the case of images, right? So you have single image, you have you have the slideshow, single video, and you have carousel. You can also create canvas that it's not good to show here because it's an immersed experience. Canvas gives the ability of the person to go inside the ad and explore. So they can see a panoramic photo of maybe a beach in the Bahamas, together with text, together with video, together with a 360 video and a VR video, depending on what the strategy is that who you're advertising to. So you might even incorporate 360 360 videos or photos inside a canvas. Uh, this is the section that you're going to create on your ad set. So you have three sections that I'm going to show better afterwards. But for now, let's just call this the ad set on Facebook ads. This is where you're going to put your ad, your persona. You're going to get the information that was created from your questionnaire, your persona, and you're going to put it into practice into Facebook ads. So you do know there's a demographic aspect of those people that you chose regarding their location and demographics. When you got the answers back, you also got to know about some of the interests that these people have. Based on what they like, what pages they access, the music they love, the games they play, where they shop, where they go for information, etc. And you are able to choose to advertise to those people based on interests. So that questionnaire is going to come very handy when narrowing down your the people you're advertising to. So you'll be spending your budget more effectively. Instead of advertising, as the example of a TV advert that you're advertising for everyone who's watching that particular channel at that time, on Facebook ads, on Facebook business, I'll say that you can advertise in both Facebook and Instagram, and I'll explain this further. You can advertise based on interests as well. Let's just stick with interests now. You can advertise based on interests, so you won't just be showing that ad to people that are watching a TV at that particular time. You also only show to people and only spend money on people that are interested on that. You can you can narrow down even further and go to behaviors. Behaviors is information that Facebook does get from third party partners that they have, and they get information on how people shop and how they behave inside the internet. If they have plan to buy a house or a car. And I think these things particularly work better in the US, where they have more data, more access to data. Um, Continuing, you also have connections and targeting people who like your page or app and their friends. So how does this work? So when you already have a followers base or some good amount of people that have installed your app or have seen your ads, you can start to create custom audiences. We're going to see this further. I'm also going to show a bit about on how to create ads in practice on Facebook business. But you can create custom audiences, and you do have a video about this as well on your Udacity channel. You can create custom audiences, and within those audiences that you create, you can create based on a remarketing campaign, on emails that have been registered previously, or on lookalikes, people that are similar to the people that liked your page, for example, or people that are similar to people who subscribed uh, on your email list. And you can also exclude. Yeah, you can also exclude based on that. You can also exclude based on people who have downloaded your app, or exclude the people that have liked your page, so you can reach new customers. Getting into Instagram, you have particularly different types of ads. You also have image, video, and carousel. Since Facebook and Instagram are owned by Mike Zuckerberg, they both had very similar layouts because of ads, because they can be handled in the same Facebook business section for ads. And once again, I will explain this further when we get to the Facebook business aspect of things. This is the anatomy of the Instagram, very similar to our Facebook ad. You also have a call to action, you have the business logo, you have the creative that you can A/B test, you have the ad copy. It's just the difference that on Facebook you can have different types of engagements, and that's pretty much it, because you can also have different calls to action on Instagram. Ad placement. This is a particularly important part that you should take into account. So you have the desktop newsfeed, you have the right column, mobile newsfeed, Instagram, and audience network. Um, this is your normal newsfeed and right column. You are acquainted with this 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. As you are a user of this social media, of these two different types of social media, you are probably acquainted with these two. Now, let me explain this further. Audience network. Audience network is the ability to advertise in to the partners of that Facebook has. How does this work? You can advertise in the audience network in three particular different ways that Facebook will deem more appropriate according to your creative. So you have the banner. You have probably seen this on apps that you download for free. It either shows up here or down here. You have this, which is a pop-up that often shows in also free apps. And you have this, which got a lot of fame for being more user-friendly, because in theory the algorithms they put your ads in a page that has to do with the content that that person is reading. So let's say the person is reading about how to make a best first impression on a first date, because he got a date on a dating app, and you advertise on a website that talks about making the best first impression. uh, you make an ad for your restaurant, and you say the best restaurant for a first date on your ad copy. Let's say this is more likely to convert, because that person is already looking for a place to go on a date. So if you make, for example, a 25% discount on first date coupon, then to get new customers, then that person is more likely to convert. He's already getting a discount, and he's already looking for a restaurant to go on his first date. or first date. Getting to Facebook now, to the Facebook ads platform. Let's get into the campaign aspect of it. You have already seen this. This is a photo from your platform, and you do start with the campaign and with the campaign objective. The campaign objective is going to change how your layouts for your ad set and your ad is going to look like. So depending on whether you want to drive awareness, consideration, or you want to convert, your ad is going to look very different. Uh, do you remember the funnel that we did talk about previously on the content aspect of things? So these are your common objectives to drive awareness, where you're focusing on CPM, on reaching as many people as possible, on consideration, that you're trying to get people that are that are interested on the product already or service that you're offering. So since they're already interested on that solution, and they're already aware that that solution exists, you're trying to get them to go into your website and see that your product is the best option for them. So this is through traffic to your website, through engaging, to getting to them to engage with your content, to download your app, so you can remarket to them, so they can see more about your company, so they can compare to others, through video views, through lead generation, so you can impact them through email marketing, and through messages that you can explain more about your product and why your product is better than the competitor's product. Conversion is more about getting that offer on your customer's face. So that customer has already considered your brand as a viable option. He's just a bit hesitant because maybe doesn't have the money right now, or is considering the other company, but is trying to see uh, a decisive factor. So the decisive factor oftentimes can be the price. If you can put an offer in front of that person with a coupon, maybe for them to go and visit the store and present that coupon, they are more likely to convert. That being said, that they have already gone through the consideration phase, right? Uh, we have already talked about the objective and the funnel, the customer journey. So let's get into CLV, budget, and bids. So the CLV is the customer lifetime value. Oftentimes, people think that the campaign has gone horribly wrong because maybe they did an awareness campaign and they didn't get instant return on investment. So your brand, if you're starting out now, let's say you're a startup and people don't know about your brand at all, you're not a Udacity company per se, people don't really know about your brand, you're going to get you're going to have to build a relationship with those people. So people have to know your company first, and this means that when you're driving for awareness, you might not have return on investment on your first campaign. You might only get a return on investment when you're doing your third campaign for remarketing, for example. So you did your first campaign for awareness, trying to get as many interested people as possible. Then you get those people that watched your video maybe for more than 3 seconds on Facebook, and you remarket to those people, trying to get them to subscribe uh, on your website via a traffic campaign. So you trying to get them to convert as leads. And when you try to convert them as leads, you try to reach out to them both via email marketing with offers, and to those who haven't converted through leads, or have done so but are not opening so many of your emails, you can do remarketing to them once again on the channels that you're active on, YouTube, Facebook, and so on, with a limited time offer. And that's where you might convert more. So oftentimes on your awareness campaign, you won't get a return on investment. But you have to take into account that the customer lifetime value of that particular person that subscribed, that bought your product. That person might buy more than one product or service. He might start with small price product. Let's say he buys a shirt, he likes that shirt, he talks to his friends, you get some word of mouth going, you get some referrals, you get him buying a second product, and so you get a higher customer lifetime value. You will be able to access this customer lifetime value aspect better towards the end of this course, towards the end of the nano degree, where you're going to analyze the customer behavior through your Google Analytics platform. But this aspect of customer lifetime value in the long term will also aid you in setting your bid. So let's say that you have a lot of returning customers on your website, and you see that your customer lifetime value is high. You can adjust your bid to a higher value because you see that your customer lifetime value is higher, so you can afford to spend more. If you can't afford to spend more because there's a lot of first-time buyers and they buy one thing and never come back, then you have to adjust your bid for a lower value because you're not getting a high customer lifetime value per customer that you have. So you have to adjust that bid further down because they're not getting that high of a return on investment. Getting into Facebook business, I'm going to show you a bit about how things work. So let me try to simulate here uh, how a campaign would work. I should have probably changed this to English. Try to do that now. Anyways, I won't be able to change it now, so I will run another webinar with this. For now, let's leave it at that. If you have any questions, I will answer any questions that you have. You do have videos that explain how to use Facebook business, but on our next webinar that is also going to be about We are going to run a simulation of a restaurant that wants to advertise for first time dates, and they will advertise uh, two people that want to go on a first date. So they're trying to get people who are on dating apps, who are wanting to go on their first date. So I'm going to see if there's any questions. If there's no questions, we'll end the webinar.